Alright guys, it's time to talk about Audius on the channel, or audio as the ticker says, guys. It's been about 6 months since we've looked at audio, and specifically it was back in August 28th of 2024. Now if I go back, guys, to August, that would be on this candle right here. Now as you can see, pretty much it is lower since that point, well, we can just estimate and say about 30% cheaper. Now, Audius did have a nice run up in November, all the way up to early December. And from about this point here, at about 23 cents, it got rejected. And you can see, guys, that pretty much it has this downward sloping trend line that is just holding it down for the last couple of months. Now, it looks, actually a few months, that's actually December. So yeah, we have had 3 months actually holding us down, this trend line. Now, today, it looks like we have finally broken through this trend line. Let me zoom in here just so you can see it a little bit better. But yesterday, there was an attempt to break out. Now, it did get rejected, and today, you do see it breaking out. Now, it is getting a rejection here at about 10.9 cents. And pretty much it's been under this since the 3rd of February. So we've spent about a month and a week, under this little resistance here. Not little, it's probably a big resistance. But yeah, on the weekly time frame, this is the resistance we have to get over right now. Now, I haven't marked any daily resistances. I just don't want to, take the time really to do that. The weekly resistances are much more stronger than daily resistances. But let's take a look at the RSI. I just want to see, where this is when it comes to the strength of this move. Now, on a daily time frame, this actually looks pretty good, guys. It does have room to go on the RSI and Stochastic RSI, so they are actually pointed heavily to the upside. Let's look at this on a weekly time frame. Wow. Okay, this is great. It's oversold here on the Stochastic RSI, and it is pointed to the upside pretty heavily here on the RSI. Now, the monthly time frame, it is getting into oversold here on the Stochastic, and it's just pretty much flat here on the RSI, but it is slightly pointed up. So I do like that. So monthly, weekly, daily, guys, all these time frames, I would say, look excellent. Now, let's look at the 4-hour chart. Okay, it is getting a little bit overheated here on the RSI and Stochastic RSI, so keep that in mind. Now, the 1-hour time frame, again, it is coming out of overbought territory on the RSI, but it's not that far away from being, overbought. So it could easily go back over to the overbought territory because it's just slightly under overbought, really. But here on the Stochastic, it is overbought. So on the 15-minute time frame, let's just see what this looks like. Okay, now this is pretty, heavily pointed to the downside here on the Stochastic RSI. It is slightly pointed up here on the RSI. So all in all, longer time frames look really good for audio. Shorter time frames, I do expect probably some sideways action or maybe a little bit down. So you do kind of see this happening right now. There also appears to be like a little flag here on the 15-minute time frame. Let me see what this looks like on this time frame. Okay, let me put this back on the 15-minute time frame. And let's just make a little flag here, and let's see if this will break out, where this should take us. Now, I'm just going to put this like this. That's close enough. Now, I know this is not a trend, but this is just the easiest way for me to measure things. So, if this breaks out to the upside, guys, let's just move this right here, and this should take us to about 12 cents. Now, it's not exact science, guys, but let's just say 12 cents is the area where it should go. So, honestly, I do think we will break through this resistance. Now, the reason we're breaking through this resistance, I believe, is because of this BitGet announcement, which was today. Audio, USDT is now launched for futures trading and trading bots. So, I looked on X, guys. I didn't find anything else about audio. There was no news really. So I am thinking that this is kind of propelling this right now. Now, if you don't know, Audius is a place where creators can make music, guys. I hold Audius because I love music, guys. I have always loved music. I even played guitar in the past. You know, I love Nirvana and things like this. I don't want to get into music on this channel, but I really like that, you know, this is for creators, and it shows you on this website who uses it and who supports it, guys. Down here, backed by Katy Perry, Nas, Chainsmokers, you know, and several others, guys. So I do like this, you know, platform, and I would like to see this really succeed. So I am holding my Audius, guys. I haven't sold any. I actually bought a little bit of Audius not too long ago, just to round out my number to about 300 Audius. I know that's not a lot, guys, but that's what I have. And, you know, if this goes down anymore, it's something that I would consider picking up, you know, a little bit more of. Now, taking a look at Audius here about the tokenomics, guys, you can see my holdings. Like I said, 300 audio. I am in a loss, but my average cost here is only about 21 cents, so I'm not that worried about it. Now, max supply, this is quite low, guys. 1.3 billion, basically. I'm not sure why they have this odd number here, but the total supply, what has been created, is pretty much everything. And circulating, you do have pretty much everything circulating. So they can't really dilute this, guys. You know, so this is not bad, I would say. Now, all-time high was almost $5, guys. So this crypto has been hit one of the hardest from all cryptos, because it is still about 98% down. And this was almost 4 years ago. I remember when this came out, guys, and I remember it surging to about $5. I wish I, you know, had it then. But yeah, guys, I mean, I really trust this project. I do like it. Check that website out for yourself, though. But yeah, I do think, you know, this is really maybe the future of music, you know, like they say. I just think this is the way many artists are going to go in the future. Now, let me get into Bitcoin here, guys. We did have a big dump yesterday. Keep in mind, this is a 4-hour time frame, guys. And basically, we dumped from about $86,000 all the way down to $80,000, guys. So since then, we have gotten a little bit of a bounce. You know, this 4-hour candle, we are seeing a little bit of a dump. We did get resistance right here, guys. Look where my line is. Now, I haven't touched this line in like a week because this is my second PC in another city, guys. And yeah, I put this line here a week ago, and you can see this is pretty much where it got rejected. So not nice to see. We don't really have any support, guys, until about 76,500. So, you know, we really need to pick ourselves up here. Now, we have kind of broken structure here too. So this is not another good sign for Bitcoin. You know, we were making higher lows up until basically this weekend. So, you know, this dump broke that structure. However, we are still above this, you know, low here. So let's see. Maybe this will be the start of a trend up. But yeah, maybe I can delete this and say that we just made a slightly higher low here. But I don't like it, guys. We did break the structure. We do kind of have an M pattern here. But we really haven't broken the neckline down here. But we kind of got to look at it in a skewed manner if we're going to look at this as an M pattern. But I would say it's not the best M pattern at all, guys. Anyways, let's move on here. Now, the CME gap, guys, you do have here still around, let's just say 78,700 down to about 77.9 or something like this. You can see, guys, there's this little wick right here. There's also this little wick right here, but you do have the open up here. And yeah, the dump we had on the 28th of February did not close this gap entirely. Unfortunately, you know, I am still a believer that we may come down and fill this gap, although I don't really care so much for gaps. I am not a huge believer in gaps, guys, but they do tend to get filled the majority of the time. So, will we fill this gap? I would say the likelihood is higher than not. Now, we may not fill it until, you know, the bear market, if we kind of get a bounce here. But at the moment, guys, you know, we do have a larger gap, really. You know, I think this way. So it's 50-50, really. I mean, this gap is not so big, you know, and this one is also not so big, and we're right in the middle. So 50-50. Let's see which gap we fill first. But in my opinion, it just feels like we're going to go to the downside and then go up. Now, Ethereum, on the other hand, you can see, guys, that basically it is still making lower lows. I drew all of these lines except for this last week. So keep that in mind. We had a low right here. We got a big bounce and then crash back down. So, yeah, we are looking at another lower low here. Let's see if we can start to make higher lows. But we will have to deal with this trend line at some point. And we also have to get above, this Fibonacci here at about $2,300, guys. So that's another resistance before we get there. I haven't marked up any weekly resistances or daily resistances. I'm just going to leave this as is, guys. Now, total market cap, guys, excluding Bitcoin, we find ourselves under 1.05 trillion, unfortunately. And we do have this resistance here, which is clear resistance. And yeah, we do need to get over 1.05 and over 1.08. And then we'll see where we end up. Maybe we have to deal with this first, this trend line, or we have to deal with 1.14 trillion. Now, taking a look at the dominance, guys, this is just, amazing. We were making, higher lows here. Then we have a fake out, another higher low, fake out, higher low, fake out. Now we find ourselves, I don't know. We are still below this little node here that I kind of marked off last week, but or today actually. But I just don't know, guys. It looks like it wants to round itself out in a way. So right now it is coming down, and that is good. So we desperately just need to break this green line right here at 60.46, and then we got to break this trend line right here, guys. If I put this on a weekly, you'll see this much quicker. We do have like a mini altcoin season that we had right here, and basically this trend line has kept us up since November of 2022. It's just kind of bounced along it and followed it, and we had a couple of fake outs. We had nice gains, but we desperately need to break this to the downside, guys. Now, it should be that we should come down anywhere between about 48 to, let's say, about 39%. So altcoins should go crazy then, guys. But we find ourselves still waiting this late in the game. It's just really crazy, in my opinion. Now, dollar index dropping still. That is actually good for Bitcoin. Maybe that's saving us from going under $80,000. The liquidations, guys, it's going up. This is not good. It's almost 700 million at the moment. A lot of longs getting wrecked at the moment. Now, fear and greed, 20. Yesterday was a 27, so we do find ourselves in a little bit more fear today. Altcoin season index, this is going up. Now, like I said, that's as the result of the dominance, falling. And yeah, so this is nice to see. We are trending up. I think last night we had like a 27. I refreshed this, though, before this video, and it was a 24. So the bull market peak indicators, guys, still 0 from 30 have been hit. You have 100% hold. If we had one hit, maybe we could, start talking about the possibility of getting out of everything. But the Pi Cycle top indicator is the best one. Now, I've zoomed in here. Let me zoom in a little bit more. You can see it hasn't crossed. It's actually turning to the downside, guys. So that is interesting to see. We are maybe prolonging this cycle a little bit just because of all this action from, tariffs and things like this. Now, this week, today we have consumer inflation expectations in New York. Tomorrow, job openings. We do have CPI on Wednesday, PPI on Thursday, Michigan on Friday. So we do have quite an important week, guys. Now, interest rates, 97% again. I'm not sure why this went back to 97. And yesterday, one day ago, it was 98. But yesterday I saw like 88, I think, in the video. You can go back and look at it. So I'm not sure what changed or how it changed or if it was just a fluke. Now, the crypto bubbles, guys, pretty ugly. I did, put this on number 200 to 300 just so you can see audio here. Looking good. Now, if you want to stake your coins, guys, go to Coinondo. And if you're looking for audio, I don't think there's that many places with audio, guys. But let's just do this real quick. And Audius, yes. So there are 4 deals found. So yeah, you can choose any of these. Anyways, guys, if you like this video, like, subscribe, activate the bell, share this video with your friends, and I'll see you guys in the next one.